All right, good morning, everybody. Markets open, kind of sitting around view up right now in those EMAs, not really going anywhere. Could be making a push down here in a second, pushing through the view up. Making our way lower and lower. All right, made our way down to the Asia low, as well as yesterday's low during the New York session. Yeah, pulling back here just a little bit. Yeah, Nasdaq's still going lower. Could be headed to those overnight lows at the 455 level. Yeah, still kind of sitting at the highs though. Gonna made a bull flag and almost played out there. Looks like ES kind of wanted to go down, but not nearly as much as Nasdaq. Looking a little choppy over there. It's still going down. Delta's looking good. everything's looking good for the short, except for the fact that ES is still kind of failing to break that first candle at open. Still kind of sitting at the highs, chopping around. Nasdaq is looking nice though. Grinding lower, taking out these key levels. Could be on our way to the overnight low. Looking good. Could be a good day of price action. We've had some rough ones recently. I didn't trade yesterday, but I went back and looked at the charts to see what I missed out on, and it was pretty rough. It looked like a pretty choppy day. Probably would have stopped a lot of people out of a lot of different trades. But if you made some money yesterday, good for you. But I'm definitely glad I did not trade yesterday. Cannot complain. And like the last couple of days, in general, last couple of weeks, not the best, not the best. So far this isn't looking bad though, despite ES kind of lagging behind, not sure what it wants to do. And it is always a little bit better if they have a little bit of correlation. Right? If Nasdaq's going down, you want ES to also be going down. I am going to guess that we're going to make our way down to the overnight low here. It's kind of the next level of liquidity. We do have FOMC today. Yeah, a lot of big news today at noon. So 12 o'clock my time, 2 o'clock Eastern. So that'll probably put the market like a lot. Which is kind of why we chopped yesterday, is what I would kind of assume. Just a little bit of uncertainty, kind of waiting for the Feds and all the FOMC statements and stuff that are going to come out today. And so far today we're kind of going down, doing something. But I definitely won't be surprised if we mellow out in the next hour or so. And kind of just wait for FOMC. Alright, still slowly making our way lower. Slowing down a little bit though. ES is going lower too. Still has not broken past the some of these lows, though, that the NASDAQ has taken out. Kind of finding that support here a little bit. First green candle in a little bit while, or in a little while. Back up to the 9 EMA. Could be forming out a bear flag here. A little hesitant to take the flags. Just haven't really been working for me recently. But there it kind of is. Like I've said past days, I kind of like to look for more than just 2 candles. But if 2 candles is enough for you, then this might have been the trade. Bounce off the 9 EMA, break the low of the previous candle, and go down. Only got about 7 points there. Already kind of back up there, so still could go down, obviously, but might have stopped some people out of break even. Who knows? What do you think the outcome of the PAL news is gonna come out? That is a good question. I wish I knew. If I knew, I definitely would be making some money this afternoon. But it's definitely going to move the market, I think, quite a bit. Yes, is finally moving down, taking out some lows. Yeah, we have been on a bull run for quite a while, and we're still. Let's double check here, but yeah, I mean, today we're still sitting at these all-time highs. Obviously pulling back a little bit this morning, but in general, we are still pretty close to those. But I guess now we're like 180 points away from all-time highs. Yesterday sold off a little bit. Overnight sold off a little bit. But yes, in general, we've been pretty bullish at the all-time highs. And then even like the contract switch moved us up 200 points. So we're definitely due for some pullbacks, some selling. Not sure if that means the news is going to do that, but you could be right. Definitely could be right. It looks like that bear flag kind of played out there if anyone took it or held on to it. I did not. But let's see if we can get anything else today before the market mellows out. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next hour or so it mellows out, chops around a little bit, just because of FOMC. And people are gonna be a little afraid to be in any trades. And it might just get a little bit boring, chop around a little bit until the news hits. It's definitely what I've seen in past FOMC days. A little bit bigger of a pullback here, kind of taking out the highs on these 1 minute wicks. Not the most prominent highs there. I don't know if I'd count that as like a liquidity sweep, break of structure type of thing, you know? Just because there's only like one green candle here. And it's just not the cleanest looking, right? Definitely look a little bit better if it was like, let me see if I can find like a little drawing thing. Is there not like a free draw tool? All I'm seeing is lines and rays and regions. Oh, maybe not. We're still going up though. And we might close above this 5 minutes bearish fair value gap. So we could inverse that, and I might take that to go long if we close above the 495s on 5 minute in the next 30 seconds. Looks like it might do it.
Order submitted.
Oh, looks like didn't quite get my order there in time. Might have missed it. Kind of went down into the gap. Kind of pushed. Dang, it's really going up. I might have missed it. Might have missed the move. Aiming for previous day highs. Yeah, definitely a good spot. Good target. There's a 3 minute bearish fair value gap too. Yeah, usually with some good price action, you usually do have like a 3 minute and a 5 minute, and potentially even like a 2 minute as well. Obviously the 1 minute can be a little crazy, but yeah, zooming in here. I was trying to find just the low of that candle, but it just took me a sec to like get my board in the right spot. A little unfortunate because it did bounce down, bounce up. I might leave it here a little bit, see what happens. We are kind of bouncing off VWAP. Could make our way back down and get in. We were up almost 20 points though. Not sure if I want to try again after it already made a little bit of a move, if it pulls back. But yeah, we might not get the chance anyways. But we definitely still could pull back a little bit here on the 1 minute. Could pull back to the EMAs, which would be past our entry on the 5 minute. And yeah, if you're trading the 3 minute, unless you got in right off the close of the 5 minute candle, probably still waiting for that pullback into the 94.5. That's typically what I do. I like to wait for it to close above and then pull back, kind of like this. even though we did kind of get down there and push out. But yeah, I mean, price is just going straight up. Might have missed it. Bit unfortunate. Usually we have a little bit of a pullback or something. It's gonna be an SMT on YM once it takes out the view highs. Thank you, and ES should follow. Also, the SMT with YM should hold because it's on top of tricky levels. Okay, okay. Yeah, I've got my eye on RTY and ES, and yeah, RTY is already taking out the highs of the day. Same with ES. They're looking pretty similar. And then, yeah, like you said, the YM should hold. And I won't be, yeah, Nasdaq's probably only a matter of time before we follow and get up there.
Order filled.
Oh. Well, I don't know where that came from. But we're in. Could be a little scary there, actually. That slap down. I'm not sure. Was that like a surprise news or is that a tweet maybe? A nice bounce off the entry though. So it didn't bleed all the way through. That's good. Might go break even though as quickly as possible. I don't know. We are holding the EMAs, but that little selling block right there, it's a little scary. Not sure where those sellers came from, but definitely don't want to ignore them. Hopefully we just get that push back up to get the highs on the 1 minute. That'd be fantastic. We are up about 10 points. Pretty solid. Sorry, you guys can't see this on TikTok. Let me switch. Switch this. So this one I trade on the 5 minutes. You can see it on my YouTube. But it's not enough room on TikTok. So yeah, we're up about 10 points. It's looking like kind of wants to still play out this move here. But the sellers are kind of looking a little scary.
Stop filled.
Might just get, yeah, break even there in case it sells off here. Yeah, I kind of felt like it was going to get that break lower, which it did. It didn't necessarily hold, so it's not necessarily obviously over. But just looking at ES right now, making its way lower. Obviously, Delta, a lot of selling on Delta with the volume. So we're just gonna get out of it, play it safe. And yeah, that's probably good good move so far. We're already down over 10 points, making our way lower. Again, doesn't mean the trade's gonna get stopped out. Right, I had my stop all the way down at the 59s. But yeah, not a lot of liquidity, and definitely want to play it safe here. After that big selling candle right here. And ES looking a little bearish. But who knows, we might find some support around here. Got a couple gaps on the 1 minute. Got these previous little wicks, maybe we'll hold. I don't know. But yeah, wasn't quite able to hold through VWAP there. Yeah, I might just have to wait until this range kind of breaks here. Kind of try to make a move, make that reversal, and we made some pretty good progress. Would have been up. How many points was that? 90, 96 to yeah, over 20 points would have been up. But yeah, now we're down about the same amount, 20 points. But no, yeah, we've had days like this before, and yeah, we had a nice little push right here in the beginning of the day. Push down. And then potential reversal, but because we aren't really playing out the reversal, it's one of those things where we've kind of made a high and a low of the day, right? That kind of 15 minutes opening range. I mean, I guess this low is a little bit past the... Oh no, that's right on the 15 minute. Never mind. For some reason, NinjaTrader, it's like not lined up for some reason. But anyways. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So 15-minute opening range, right? We kind of set it by making our way up or down, maybe chopping around, and then we kind of pull back to the middle of it, and then we're not quite chopping yet, but we are getting to the point where we might kind of fail to really have a real clear direction here until we break out of this initial range that we made. I guess I could just buy in here at the lows, right? No, I'm gonna follow my rules, but it is always a little tempting, especially on a trade like this. You know, it's a bigger trade, and it is looking like it's gonna take up the lows. So obviously, I'm not gonna do anything crazy here. But yeah, you buy in down here, stop at the same spot, very cheap trade, and then target the highs, assuming that trade would have held up. But like I said, sellers looking kind of strong both on Delta and ES, and I mean, RTY is just going straight up to the moon. ES taking out the lows. Anyways, a couple things, right, keeping our eye on. Felt the presence. Decided to get out when I could, and that was the right decision. So we did not get stopped out there. Alright, still going lower. See what we can get out of this. We are at that overnight low. We held it there for a second. See if we kind of hold it again. It might be
Order filled.
kind of holding it. Might just take a small little trade here on one of my other accounts. See if we can get that little pop up, little bounce. I might just go breaking even already. Kind of a 1-to-1 with my risk there. 290, but definitely tempting to lock in just like 200.
Stop filled.
Oh, somehow I got 185. A little bit of slippage there. I guess I should have just let it play out, or maybe I should have just done something else, but oh well. A little scalp there. Bounced off those, so we held those overnight lows, bounced up pretty nicely. But yeah, probably should have held just a little bit longer for the full target, or the just like a good 10 points or something like that. Yeah, nice little scalp there. Kind of holding the CMA. See if we form out a bear flag here, which we might consider taking since we are looking pretty bearish. Not a bad bear flag, but we do have this bullish for value gap kind of within the bear flag, which makes it a little hard to take because it still could play out. But as we're seeing now, it kind of went into it and bounced up, and that could have easily like get up here and stop people out. So I mean, just like that. If I would have gone in, put my stop up there for like a cheap trade, would have gone stopped out. So I don't typically like to take the bear flags if there's a bull flag in it. But I know some people do that anyways and don't really care about that. So whatever works for you, of course. Now that we've taken out the high, we're making our way lower. We could still play out this flag. If we get below the gap, that could be a decent short. But also we're kind of shorting right back into the overnight highs or lows. Not bad. Which definitely could bounce again, potentially. Alright, seller's kind of making its way lower. ES making new lows on the day. Little SMT there. So far. But yeah, we kind of broke through this 15-minute opening range. Low here. But then we bounced right off out of it. Another reason why that was a pretty good trade. Got the overnight low at the, where is it at? 56. And then obviously the bottom of the 15-minute opening range at 60. Yeah, good bounce. Should have held, made a little bit more patient. But this could be a little reverse on the 1 minute. Almost taking out those highs on the 1 minute here. Right, higher low. could be making a higher high here in a second. But as I'm saying that, we're pulling right back. Pretty nasty little wick here, so a little bit ugly. Nothing's for sure yet, that's for sure. This definitely could be a good reversal after that overnight low sweep. The other one definitely could have been a little bit of a fake out. I mean, not a bad pullback. Kind of in the middle of that opening range, and then we came down, took out the lows, and then we could continue lower. But depending on what price does here in the next little bit, we could reverse and take out the overnight highs. Hopefully. That'd be good. Good trade. Especially if we close above the 494s. Then I'd be pretty confident in the longs. So far though, kind of looking a little ugly. Got a lot of chop going on. Just kind of sitting around the 90 EMA. Can't really push through it, but not really rejecting off of it. So no reason to take any trades right now. Yeah, kind of just chopping around for now. Yeah, still staying at the lows, chopping. Nasdaq pulled up a little bit, chopping. Alright, still going nowhere. Hopefully this isn't all we got today. Like I was saying, we might mellow out and chop around before FOMC. But we still have like 4 hours until FOMC, so I'd like to think we still have like an hour of decent price action, maybe more. But I don't know, might only have like 20-30 minutes more. And that's if we break out of this chop and make a bit more of a move. But maybe this was it, right? Little move down, little pullback, little move further down, and then a little bit of chop. Maybe that's the move. Maybe that's all we got. But we'll see. We'll see. Could be holding this 1 minute gap. Almost pushing through. Yeah, why does price action gotta be like this when I'm trying to pass these funded accounts? Nah, that's what I'm saying. And like the funniest part for me too is like I just passed some accounts, some evaluations, like these funny ticks accounts. I have 2 of them, and I was funded, or no, I was trading the evaluations, and like I think it might have been like 2 weeks now, but I just barely passed them, and like I was like winning and doing well. I was like, okay, like I'm chilling. I pass these accounts, get them funded, and then ever since they've been funded, price action's just been so. This has been so rough. It's like, how am I supposed to make any money? How am I supposed to? I mean, not pass the accounts, but how am I supposed to get them up to pay out? Freaking ridiculous. What am I supposed to do? I can't trade this. It's rough out here. I got bills to pay. Speaking of funny ticks, it has actually, I got it wrong on my layout. It is back to 35% off, no longer 20. So definitely check that out if you like funny ticks or want to check out a new prop firm that you haven't tried yet. Got a good deal right now. Alright, we are taking out some of these highs on the 1 minute. It's a little bit messy still, but if we can hold above this CMA, push higher, could be a reversal, could be something. Yeah, still kind of staying at the lows, chopping around. Delta kind of just chopping, not really a lot of buyers stepping up yet. Oh, just as I said that though, the sellers are pushing her down. Back to the bottom of this little choppy range we've made. I guess that's kind of a bear flag, but I don't take the bear flags in the chop. Yeah, price action wasn't too terrible. Got this nice little bounce off the overnight lows, but man, it's been last like 18 minutes. It's been kind of rough. All right, just took out. Well, don't know if that means anything. I took out those lows right there on the 1 minute, but we're already right back into the range. Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more to happen if we're gonna be actually out of this range. Might be time. Might be time to pull out some games here in a minute. Not sure if I want to play some more Battlefield. That's what I've been kind of my go-to recently. Kind of getting ready for Battlefield 6. But also, I do always like some good Fortnite. I know a lot of people in the chat previously also enjoy some Fortnite, so we might give that a go. I'll have to check if it's updated though. I don't know. I haven't played it in like a week or two. Yeah, looks like there might be a little update. But we're definitely not done trading yet. Definitely still keep our eye out for some trades. Right now, nothing's going on. Right, don't want to overtrade or make any trades that we're going to regret. And that is why I typically play some games sometimes. I mean, even before I was streaming, I would do that a little bit. Because obviously, yeah, it can be kind of entertaining for streaming and everything, and people enjoy it. Some people could probably care less though. They're just here to trade, right? But oh yeah, even before I was streaming, I just kind of do the same thing, right? Trade, kind of watch the chart as the market's moving, but then as it slows down a little bit, yeah, play some Battlefield, play something, and then as soon as the setup comes out, I'll just kind of tab over to my other monitor, make some trades. Battlefield makes it easy because it's such a big game, 32 player versus 32, and you can obviously respawn, and there's not really much consequence to dying and kind of sitting in the spawn menu for a little bit. Other games does make it a little hard. Doesn't mean I don't play them, don't try anyways, but it does make it a little difficult. Like Fortnite, for example. If I'm playing Battle Royale, if I die, that's game over. I gotta start a whole new game, which not the end of the world. It's fine, obviously, but at the same time, there's definitely some value in not having to start a whole new game if I die because I'm making a trade or something. Respawning is very nice. And I don't hinder my team too much if I am not fully engaged. But if I was playing like duos or squads on Fortnite, obviously if I'm tabbed out, distracted on other things, I'm definitely letting my team down. Or I'd say it's probably more so in the finals. I usually don't play with people on Fortnite unless I'm playing with like my buddies. But that doesn't happen when I trade because they're usually in school or work and stuff. But the finals, another fun game. It's been a while since I played the finals. I know the new season just dropped. Could also be fun. Yes, price finally moving down. This definitely, I would say, is kind of breaking away from that chop. Unless we just reject right here and go back up to the 68s, kind of around those EMAs. Slowly but surely making our way down. ES, looking a little bit better. Just kind of slowly stepping down. The Nasdaq did kind of figure out some buyers here by taking out these highs. But then took out the lows. But we did make that lower high here. So, finally moving down. No, yeah, the finals is also a fun game. But I don't think there's really any mode you can play that's solos, unless there is in the new update that I haven't tried yet. But typically you're playing with like a team of 3. Or you're like a part of the team of 3. So like if you're, it's a respawn game. And actually it's like a bit longer of a respawn timer. It's like 20 seconds or more sometimes. So like, yeah, you might have a sec to like go make a trade or something. If you die or if you don't die, whatever. But because it is such a team-based objective game, right? It's not like team deathmatch or anything like that. I mean, yeah, if you're not helping your team, they're gonna be kind of pissed at you. And I would probably be the same way. I've got, I think, over like 130 hours on that game. It's not a ton, but I definitely have quite a bit of experience. And I've definitely had my games where one of my teammates is just sitting, sniping in the back, or he's just not doing anything. He doesn't know how to play the game. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? I need your help. I need you to revive me. Or I need you to protect the cash out or whatever. So a little harder to do that. There is the team deathmatch mode though, which is 5 versus 5, and that one you can definitely like be a little bit more casual in. It's not quite as competitive with the objective and everything because it's just like team deathmatch. But still, when there's only 5 people on the team and one of your teammates is off in the corner trading, maybe not ideal. But also it's just a game. I don't care too much to hurt people's feelings in a video game. But I also get competitive, so I see both sides to it, for sure. But yeah, we're finally making our way down, taking out the lows of the day. ES kind of holding up a little bit, not really taking out the lows yet. Sellers looking good on Delta. Pushing price down. Slowly but surely. Not really breaking out too heavily here, but we definitely could continue this trend. Alright, a little bit more sellers here. Ah, whoever was in chat earlier, Jay, saying it's a bearish day for sure. He was definitely right. See if that changes at all in the next little bit, but for now, he's definitely right. Pull back here a little bit. I'll make our way back up to that 9 EMA. Yeah, there it is. Still bouncing. Still bouncing. Yeah, I wish there's a little bit more going on, but so far not a lot. I'm hoping the more I trash talk the market and how boring it is, hoping it proves me wrong here. Definitely don't have a problem being proved wrong. So far, I mean, we're just chopping crappy price action. FOMC in 4 hours, or I guess 3.5. So might not be much trading left for me today. No, what am I saying? There'll be something. We'll find something. It's a little tough that the 5 minute doesn't even have any bearish gaps here, except for this one up here at the 480s to 490s. But we already kind of tested that one and made it way lower. So as far as closing above for reversal, I don't think I'd be looking at this one, and there's none down here. There is one on the 3 minutes, but nothing wrong with the 3 minute. I don't know, K-Dubs likes the 3 minute, I think, or maybe it's the 2 minute. Anyways, could play out. Could be nice. Ooh. 1 to 3 minute. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely not bad. I think once I get some more accounts, I might start trading a little bit more of those. But I just found with one of my accounts earlier this year that I had. I was trading. I'd take the inverse fair value gaps on the 5 minutes, but also keep my eye on like the 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute. I just found the 5 minute was the most consistent. Kind of like earlier today. Switch this to the 5 just to show it off a little bit. But yeah, this trade I took earlier that I got break even on. Right, we took out this liquidity, closed above it on the 5 minute, and then we went down into it for the entry, and then we pushed all the way up here, like 24 points. Obviously, we played it well, right? Went break even, that was nice. But also could have trailed, made some profit, right? Almost up $500. We were targeting kind of those overnight highs and stuff for a little bit more profit. But anyways, the 3 minute, fortunately, if you would have waited for the same thing, would have gotten in here and then stopped out here. Again, that's not always the case, but that's just what I found. Is I had plenty of like 3 minute and 2 minute trades just like that played out nicely, and actually was nice because the 5 minute obviously wasn't giving me any entries. But yeah, I just found that with that account specifically, it might have just been unlucky, right? An unlucky month or whatever you want to call it. But I ended up like losing a trade on the 5 minutes. But then I ended up losing like a trade on like the 3 minute. But then like if I would have waited for the 5 minute, it would have been a winner. If that makes sense. Anyways, it just kind of reminded me of like what it's like if you kind of strategy hop a little bit, because it is kind of the same strategy. But at the same time, it does kind of change the results a little bit of what happens. And maybe that's just kind of like my perception of it. And obviously I blew the account. We'll just spoil that. Blew the account. And part of me thinks I don't know if it's because I traded the 3 minute, because I think if I solely traded just the 3 minute, I think I might have been fine, because I would have kept like an above a 50% win rate and would have been able to keep the account and grow it. But mixing the 50 minute or the 5 minute and the 3 minute with some of the other time frames, usually not the 1 minute. The 1 minute I don't usually take, because I mean you can see right here, right? Swept these lows, took out both of these gaps, but then we just kind of went straight through both of them, stopped people out. Here we kind of held it, chopped, made a little bit of money potentially. Again, not saying that they're wrong, and today's obviously just not a good day with price action. But anyways, I just found that like switching between the different time frames for me ended up in taking certain losses that like I may not have normally taken if I just stuck to the 5-minute, or even the other way around if I just stuck to the 3-minute, right? And that might also just be a problem with my like risk management, because I do try and stick to like one trade a day, or maybe two. I'm still kind of toying with that a little bit as far as how I manage those wins and losses, right? So obviously, yeah, with a strategy that's pretty decent, if I lose a trade, I've seen success in making another trade to make back those losses and then kind of call it a day at break even. But if I take another loss, I kind of have to be done after 2 losses. But also typically after 1 win, I'm done. And that's been working, and I have seen payouts doing that, because I've had like a decent enough strategy that if I lose, I can make back my loss most of the time. And if I win, I just win and I can call it a day. But on a day where I lose twice in a row, obviously I'm now down twice as much as I kind of normally win, potentially, depending on like the trade, obviously. So then it kind of takes a little bit to make back that loss, obviously. But again, typically that doesn't happen that often, which is why it was working. But again, if you're kind of switching between different time frames, it can be easier to take losses, like 2 or 3 losses in a row, when normally you wouldn't have taken 2 or 3 losses in a row, if that makes sense. Because again, the 5-minute being an overall profitable strategy, what I'm doing. Same with the 3-minute or the 1-minute, 2-minute. But as soon as you start switching between them, again, this isn't me telling you what to do or trying to teach. This is just kind of what I've experienced and kind of what I'm toying with in my own trading, which is why I'm not doing that anymore. But hey, maybe I don't not like the 2 and 3-minute, but that's just kind of what happened to me. So that's why I'm kind of avoiding it. Because on a day like today, right, we have the 1 minute here, and I mean, yeah, if you took any of these inverses, would have been a little bit rough. If you took one of these, I mean, it hasn't pulled back yet, but maybe you just bought right here at the close. And again, obviously, there's plenty of opportunity to go break even, take away that risk. But I don't think I'm not seeing a lot of opportunity where you would have really made a lot of profit. Unless, I guess the 1 minute, if you do just get in right here, when it closes above the gap, it did have this nice push, and you probably would have gotten some pretty nice profit. That's not what I've been doing, but maybe I need to toy with that as well. Something I might need to back test and keep an eye out, because then I don't, miss out on entries or anything like that. See, if I waited for the pullback here, would have lost these. But yeah, again, just as that example, if I'm on trading the 3-minute, didn't really get like an entry, at least for like what I consider an entry, since I wait for it to close above and then pull back and bounce out of, and which would have been like right here, which then obviously just got stopped out. But yeah, if I'm trading like the 3-minute, if I take this loss, assuming it's a loss, and then not really getting any entries, but then I switch to the 1 minute. Oh, then we take one of these, loss. Now I'm at my 2 losses. I kind of have to call it a day on like one of my accounts or something. And obviously, it's these propfirm accounts, you only have so much drawdown to work with, which makes it kind of hard to trade. Unless you're really good with your risk management, right? Follow your rules and stuff. Because as soon as you have like one mistake mixed with like maybe like a bad trade or another mistake, very quickly you start to see the losses add up, and then it's almost hard to recover from them before reaching the max drawdown and blowing the account. If that makes sense. And then yeah, same kind of thing with the 5-minute, right? You take this 5-minute, maybe it's break even, maybe it's a loss, but not a win, right? Because my target was a bit higher, kind of targeting 35 points. But yeah, it's like if I lose the 5-minute, switch over to the 3-minute, then it also loses. Kind of sucks. And obviously, some days aren't like that, right? Some days lose a trade on the 5-minute, then you win a trade on the 3-minute. But I think just as far as consistency goes and like kind of beating the probabilities, right? Trying to keep the win rate above 55, 60%. Or I mean, usually for me with the 5-minute, it actually is kind of around 80%. I can check right now the funny ticks because this funny ticks account on the that I took this trade on the 5-minute on. I can check. But I've only been trading the, what is it? Only been trading the 5-minute inverse gaps. Grub Z, hello, welcome back to the stream. But for some reason I'm not finding. Okay, here it is. Yeah, let's see. The win rate right now is 71. What's up? Not much. Just trying to trade this choppy market. Price action hasn't been the best, but we're also making our way down. So could be looking for some shorts here. I buy at XUV 700. I'm not sure what that is, but nice. But anyways, yeah, the funny ticks, this account, like I said, I've been trading only the 5 minutes. I'm at about 71% win rate. The other week though it was like 80%, so in general, pretty good. It's been working, but then like I was saying, if I were to switch between the 3-minute, 2-minute, it could work, but it also could be, I don't know. I just had trouble with it before, which is why I decided to change it up. But if I get some more accounts, that's where I might kind of implement that a little bit more, is I can use one account to trade the 2-minute and one account to trade the 3-minute, another account to trade the 5-minute. So that way each account is kind of individual with the drawdown and the losses and the wins. And that way I can take advantage of all of the strategies kind of being profitable and working, instead of copy trading and kind of losing all the accounts or whatever. Just diversify my risk, obviously, take advantage of all of them, but not obviously suffer when both of them happen to lose and I end up losing more than I want to. Oh, SUV car. Okay, nice. XUV 700. Let me look that up. Mahindra. Okay, I don't know if I've heard of that car brand, but it doesn't look like a bad SUV. Looks kind of nice. Ooh, could have an inverse here in the 3-minute though. Kind of a bear flag here, but with the bullish gap on the 1-minute. Don't typically like to take them just because if we do get that little bit of bounce, like we're kind of seeing right now, it's not unlikely to get stopped out, even if it does then go down and play out the bear flag. I was about to say it was looking kind of good though for the sellers. And now it's definitely looking good, making its way down pretty nicely. But yeah, I guess for your strategy, K-dubs, I think I remember it when you were explaining it like last Thursday. But you're saying that you like to wait for it to break out of the 15-minute opening range and then find that fair value gap to kind of continue the trade, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we didn't really reject off this 3-minute down below the 15-minute opening range. And since then, we've been a little hard to read this price action. But we're still making our way down. Great bear flag there. But yeah, I guess with the 5-minute, it might be harder to kind of get a good entry on that model you were talking about. Does that make sense why you'd stick to the 1 to 3-minute? Yeah, that makes sense. Good strategy. I might have to try that. Just hit for 300. Nice. Yeah, nice. 300 bucks. Nice trade. Is that on micros or minis? Is that like 15 points or is that like more points but on the micros? Okay, 30-ish points. So you're trading about 5 micros then? Gotcha. Nice, 30 points. That's a good trade. I know a lot of people kind of stick to the 10-point little scalp sometimes. But I'd say, yeah, 20 to 30 points on the NASDAQ is a pretty solid, like, it's not too greedy, but it's not like too little either. It's definitely like a good amount. A little bit more than that 10-point scalp, but not quite the greedy 50, 60 points. I like a good 20 to 30 point trade. Especially on like a 50k account. And then yeah, micros. I probably should trade more micros just to keep my risk down a little bit more. But sometimes I get greedy on these evals. And even sometimes the funded accounts, because I know like, okay, I can risk $2,000. 20 points is only 400 with like one mini. But yeah, once you get up to like 30 points, you're risking like $600 for one mini, which is a little heavy. A little heavy on the 50Ks. Yeah, 300 is still like a great amount of profit. Alright, see if we take out the 1 minute high here. Could reverse this in a little bit. We do have that two minute gap that we're in right now, which we did hold up really well, I'm guessing. No, that's not 30 points. But yeah, I could inverse that here, and obviously could just take out the high in the 1 minute and make another little bit of a reversal setup. Yes, as well, taking out some of the highs on the 1 minute. Alright, we did get to the high, but we just rejected right back down. You said you've been trading for a couple of years? Yeah, about 2.5. I think I started, let me check the calendar. I want to say it was the start, not the start. I think 2023? It was kind of the closer to the beginning of 2023. It might have been like March or April. I was kind of starting to dabble a little bit just with some futures trading. You know, I just kind of opened up Tradeovate. And they gave me like the 7-week free trial, so I just kind of had the sim account, so I was just throwing on some trades. You know, started kind of waking up in the morning, because for me it's like 7:30 in the morning is the market open, so I got to wake up like a little bit early, and obviously it was a little difficult with like work to kind of make it work in the trade. But at the time I was actually like injured. I injured my foot, couldn't really walk, so I was kind of not working anyways. So good little opportunity to like kind of learn trading. So I was just watching some videos, started trading in the mornings, and then I think around July of that year is when I got my first propfirm account. So yeah, just over 2 years trading propfirms. Got funded a couple times in the first year, but didn't quite get any payouts. Minis versus micros. Yeah, of course. So basically, I guess, yeah, I can actually, I don't think we're gonna get any good setups here in the next little second, so I'll switch it to a sim account. So right now this is just a sim account. I'm not making or losing any money, but right here I'm on a one mini contract. Right, you can see on my chart right here the one. That's how many contracts I have. If I buy another contract, now I have 2 contracts in. But I'm trading the minis, which are they're the main contracts for the NASDAQ. They call it a mini. It is a little confusing, minis versus micros, because they both sound like something small. But someone else could probably explain that a little bit better of why it's called like a mini. But basically the mini contracts are just the normal ones. Like when I open up the NASDAQ chart on the NinjaTrader or wherever I'm trading, this is the minis. But you can also just call them like the normal ones. Like it's just like NASDAQ futures. Anyways, I'm making 2 contracts now. I can
Order filled.
sell one on a white.
Order canceled.
Gave me that. I do prefer minis just because it's a little simpler. It's easy, right? I usually just get in with, like, you'll probably notice, like kind of one contract. And on a trade like this, obviously this isn't my kind of trade personally.
Order filled.
But like if I'm long here, kind of off, assuming this is like the liquidity sweep, right? We broke the high on the 1 minute. It's not a good break, but again, assuming this is kind of like a reversal setup, we pull back down here, we kind of hold this 1 minute gap or whatever, and we bounce up. We'll assume this is kind of the trade. You know, put my stop below here, target kind of 1-to-1, maybe target previous high, right? Anyways, it's not a good trade. Obviously, that's why I didn't take it on a real account. But typically with the NASDAQ, a mini is a pretty good size for me, and I like it, just 1. Sometimes if the market slows down a little bit, I will put on 2. Like even right now, I'm only risking 260 on this hypothetical trade.
Order filled.
And to risk like double that, like 480, isn't really out of the picture. Yeah, I used to kind of go for a little bit higher risk to reward as well. But I also found that 1-to-1 is kind of the most consistent for me, just because then I don't have to worry about like, you know, taking profit here and taking profit, or taking profit like all the way up here, because obviously the chances of it going all the way up there versus coming down and stopping me out just aren't as good, right? Obviously when it does happen, you win more money, but then your win rate goes down because you lose more trades. So some people make it work, and for them that's great. For my mentality though, and it sounds like you've kind of similar, I just found that like keep it simple, just kind of like with the 1-to-1, and when it's 1-to-1, then if I lose a trade, that sucks, but then if it's a little easier to hit my target and win the trade, and then I win as much as I lose, right? And as long as I'm above a 50% win rate, I'm making money. But anyways, I found that, yeah, I like the minis. It keeps it simple, just 1, maybe 2 contracts. And on a 50k account, especially with like the evals, I'm a little more aggressive. I found that 1 to 2 contracts, right, risking like $400, $500, maybe a little bit more sometimes. That's kind of what I like. But the biggest difference, to answer your question, or like to really explain the kind of difference, it's basically just depends on like how much you want to trade. Let's see, let me
Order filled.
get out of those again. Just put on 1, just so it's a little easier. Again, keep it simple. But 1 contract, right, keeps it simple. But like for example, if you wanted to risk less than $180, that's where micros come in. Because basically 1 micro is 1/10 the size of a mini. So this is a mini, the typical contract, every 10 points is $200. Or you could say every 1 point is $20. Right? So right now, today's not super volatile. ATR is at 8.83. Then it's just the average range of like how many points we're going up and down with the candles. Some days, like earlier today, it was up to like a 12, 13, but some days it's like a 15 or 20. So again, you kind of have to manage your risk and change how you trade a little bit, because obviously on a day with a 20 to 30 ATR, you probably don't want to trade 1 or 2 minis because that might be risking too much. Yeah, people do tend to switch between the two to kind of play it safe. They'll be a little bit more aggressive on the evals, but then once they're funded, they'll slow it down to play it more safe. And I thought about doing that on the last account, but I didn't and ended up blowing it. So again, I probably should have sized down a little bit just to kind of give myself a little bit more of a buffer, but yeah, basically simple terms, trying to keep it simple. Minis versus micros. Minis are the normal contracts and micros are just 1/10 the size. So I can actually
Order
switch
filled.
over here to the mini chart, and price is a little bit different because it is a different traded thing. So price looks basically identical, but sometimes you'll see a wick or like a thing that's a little bit different just because it's a different chart. It's a different thing that's traded. But if I put on,
submitted.
oh wait, wrong account. That would have been. Anyways,
Order filled.
back on my sim account, you can see on the same trade, well, we're kind of making our way down. But you can see I can put my stop all the way down here. I'm only risking $54. Even though this is like similar chart, kind of taking out the lows here. I mean, let's say I switch to like a short or whatever. Stop there, 1-to-1. So one micro, I mean, you can see it's moving like only a couple dollars at a time. All the way up here is only $53 worth of risk. $53 down here, even though it's like 25-point move. So typically this would be $530. This would be $530. No, not. Wait, yeah, I think so. Yes, 530. So bigger money moves are on minis per tick. I think so. Basically, yeah, every tick on the minis is $5. And there's 4 ticks in a point. So every point would be $20. And then, like I said, the micros, it's just 1/10 as big. So basically that's why people switch and be let's call it sizing down, right? If you want to risk less money, you just trade the micros. Obviously you can trade 1, or what I typically do is I do trade like 5, which is kind of what it sounded like you were trading.
Order filled.
Just because that's like about half of a mini. See, I kind of have like, I don't know why these aren't combining. Normally they combine. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, up here, like combine them. Not that that matters. But yeah, so I'm in like 6 contracts on the micros, but still I'm only risking 378 up here, which is almost, obviously a little bit over half because I'm in 6 instead of 5. But if I was to switch back to this one,
order filled,
and go short, right, I'm risking that 500. So basically, they're kind of different, but it's still NASDAQ. It's still like the same. And you can see the charts are still pretty much exactly the same. Besides like volume and stuff might be a little different. But yeah, basically, if you don't want to risk as much, you trade the micros, right? Dylan Rodriguez, first timer. Welcome to the chat and the stream. So if I'm up 800 on this eval overnight, now I should trade minis to pass it faster. Yeah. That's where it can get tricky, because obviously, yes, you will pass it faster, but obviously you're risking a lot more.
Order filled.
And that's where obviously it can get tricky, because you don't want to. Let's close these out.
Filled.
But double-edged sword, right? You can make more money, but you can also lose more money. Like I said, I stick to the minis just because that's what I've been trading for the last 2.5 years. So I'm kind of comfortable, and I just know, like, okay. I was on M&Q, the micros, just as an example, kind of showing in chat what the difference is. but I do typically, I trade the minis. I'm just used to how they work. I'd much rather take one mini than like 10 micros or like even 5, just because I'm okay with a little bit more risk, a little bit more reward as well. If you're, depending on what eval you're trading, you definitely might want to trade more contracts. Like if it's a 150k eval or a bigger eval and your profit target's like $9,000, yeah, you're probably going to want to trade a mini, just or even 2, just because then you can, obviously it's not going to take as long to pass the count. Tops of 50k though, I believe you have a $2,000 daily drawdown, and that's the same with like the accounts that I'm trading, the Take Profit Trader and Funny Ticks. And $2,000, not a lot. Again, I've gone away with trading minis with just one contract, because again, like this trade, assuming like, oh, we're kind of bouncing here, maybe we go long,
Order
right?
filled.
You're only risking $250, and to win 250, like that's like 12.5 points. It makes sense to me. Or if this was to be like a bear flag,
Order filled.
right? Let's just say like, I mean, if we got down here and made this like bear flag, you'd probably be risking around 10 points, we'll say, just under 10
Order
points,
canceled.
which is about $200. And I'm fine risking that much on the 50k accounts. But if I'm making a bigger trade or a bigger move, kind of like we are just kind of using that example earlier of this like reversal, or yeah, like my 5 minutes reversal trade with the inverse fair value gaps. Usually those moves, so here's the bear flag potentially playing out. But typically those moves, again, if they are 30 to 50 points or more, that's where it's hard to take a mini. Like the trade that you took, it probably was smart to trade micros, just because $300 is still a good amount on a 50k account. But $600 is also nice. It's better, technically. It's because obviously 600 is double 300. But at the same time, if you would have lost the trade, that's where you kind of have to evaluate. Would you have been okay to lose $600 on one trade? And if you are, then trade a mini, because then you get double the money. But if $600 would have kind of hurt your drawdown a little bit more than you would have liked, that's when, right, it might mess with the emotions and the mental side of trading, and it's not as ideal, for sure. So again, it's all about risk management. Because I've kind of had to keep track of that a little bit, where some trades they're bigger than others. Like I said, like right now, this ATR down here that you can see, it's an 8. On a good day of NASDAQ, it's like a 15 or 20. So like right now, trading a mini is probably like perfectly fine for most people, because you can risk a little bit more, and like not every trade is going to be a 30-point trade just because of the swings are not as big. But some of those bigger, more volatile days, if you're trading a mini, you have to put your stop like 50 points lower to put your stop in a good spot, and then you're risking $1,000, which for me, that's a little much. But I still do it sometimes, not gonna lie. But no, I think it is the smarter thing to trade micros, just because if you're consistently profitable, it will take you longer to pass your account. But if you don't want to if you want to avoid blowing up your account at all cost, you're a lot less likely to blow the account trading micros, just because you have a lot more drawdown. You have a lot more opportunity to lose and recover from mistakes and stuff than if you trade the minis. Yeah, no, it's definitely smart to be done the day after you're up 300, in my opinion. Even if I'm trading minis, if I'm up 300, that's only 15 points, which on the Nasdaq isn't a ton. But up 15 points, up $300, I definitely would probably call it a day as well on a 50K account. Unless you are trying to be more aggressive and pass the eval. But I'm only a little bit more aggressive on the evals when I'm feeling confident. Like last year, I was kind of popping off. I traded like 5 contracts, 5 minis on Nasdaq to pass some of the evals. And well, obviously with like Apex, you can pass the eval in one day. So I just would pass the eval in like a day. And when it works, it works. But then sometimes obviously just blow the account. It's like, oh, that sucks. But yeah, if you're confident, size up, pass the eval. But if you're still learning, if you're still trying to figure it out, obviously, and if you're not okay losing the money that you paid for the eval, then obviously you don't want to lose the eval, and it's better to play it safe and take it slow. Yeah, good luck to you as well. I'll see you next time also. It seems like you have a pretty good strategy. I might have to test it out a little bit myself, see if I like it. Yeah, good strategy, waiting for that 15-minute opening range to break, and then the retest in the fair value gap. But someone on the YouTube was saying I like micros because I can leave runners, and that's also another good strategy. And like why people trade micros as well is because you could trade one mini, but then you could also trade 10 micros instead, which is the same amount of money, right? If you're risking $200 with one mini, you're also risking $200 with 10 micros. But then you can leave runners, you can have multiple profit targets like I was kind of showing you on the let's see. Yeah, so if I'm like
order filled.
This is on the sim again, just as an example. But yeah, you can have like all these different targets, and you can like leave like a runner all the way up here. So that's what some people will do, right? They'll have like their stops down at the lows, but then they'll have all these different profit targets on the on their trade. But because they're trading micros, this is still only like 5 contracts, so it's still half. It's still half of one mini. So you're able to size down, but still able to kind of have multiple targets and multiple kind of opportunities. Even if you don't have some of these, you're able to, yeah, kind of like leave a runner and just kind of like diversify. You have a little bit more options, but the fees are higher on micros as well. So that's where the drawdown micros is they're smaller, but the fees are higher. But if you're fine with a little bit of fees, some people like strategies like this, right? They like having multiple targets. They like having like a really far runner. Oh, I don't know where that went. It disappeared. Or maybe it just went back here. But I mean, yeah, they'll put like a super high up runner in case the market just keeps going. And then they'll just move the rest to break even. Once like one of them is hit, I don't know. That's not how I trade. Again, I kind of like you. I like the 1-to-1. Keep it simple. Because a runner's great, but like it's still the more contracts you have and the more runners you have, that also means the more you can lose if you get stopped out. But hey, when the runner hits, like today, if it were to go all the way up and hit this, that's $500 on one micro, which is insane. Because obviously the micros, you're not risking a lot.
Order canceled.
Not a bad buy there, even though this is just an example. But yeah, we'll go back here. See, if we pull back to this gap, we might be looking for a trade. Dylan, what's your strategy? I got a couple strategies, couple different things I look for. A little hard to explain all of them, but as I see them, as I trade them, I will definitely explain them and give you some good examples. I like to look for bull and bear flags, if you're aware of what those are. I also like to look for liquidity sweeps, which then lead into something kind of like this, right? We take out this low on the 1 minute, take out the liquidity,
Connection lost.
and then we take out a high on the 1 minute, maybe pull back into this fair value gap, and if we can hold it and close what could be making our way higher, this could be a good trade as a reversal. So I'll take the reversals kind of like that, but then I'll also try and trade with the trend with like the bull flags and the bear flags. If I see any, I'll kind of point them out to you guys. But then sometimes I took a trade earlier today. I'm not sure. It was somewhere over here. I'm not sure. Oh, I turned off the executions. That's why. Right here, $185. Kind of 15-minute opening range low. Also, the overnight low is right here. I waited for it. It was kind of rejecting it, so I just put on a long, kind of expecting it to bounce, and we did. Caught a little piece there, almost 10 points. Just nice little bounce. But yeah, right there, it's like that was less than 10 points. But I still made $185, so that's where minis are nice. And I'm just kind of used to the size of them, so that's why I typically trade those. But we are pulling back to this gap now. You can see we're kind of holding it and bouncing away from it here. And we have 30 seconds to the close. And if this closes nicely, especially we're kind of also forming this bull flag. And again, liquidity sweep, pushed higher, taking out the highs. I might be taking this long. If we close up here above the 38s, but it looks like we're kind of pulling back. Yeah, so that's not exactly what I like to see personally. We still could get a bull flag, which we're going to keep our eye on. But the way we like rejected out of this gap and then we kind of just went and closed back down inside of it, kind of to me means that the gap is not, it didn't really work out too well. But it looks like we might get this bull flag we were talking about if we can kind of push a little stronger past the 38. Looks like we kind of tried there for a second, but now we're kind of making our way back down, which is almost to be expected, right? We still kind of want to get that test off this 9 EMA here. But we kind of just went and tapped it just barely, kind of making our way back up again. We get back up here.
Filled.
Oh, I got the wrong order, ATM order there. Kind of a small trade. We might get in.
Order filled.
Another contract again, did the same thing. Because yeah, I'm in 2 contracts, I'm still only risking $200. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. Let's see. Combine those, go for the 1-to-1, bam. So yeah, we'll pull back, bounce off the 9MA, bull flag, which is just a little bit of consolidation there. And then typically we like to see just a little break and push through these wicks and these highs. Looks like we might be getting faked out here a little bit though, unfortunately. Like I was telling someone else in chat, the flags haven't been working the best for me recently.
Filled.
I don't know if this is a bad one. I don't think it is. Anyone else who trades the flags can tell me otherwise, but I mean, yeah, just got stopped out. Didn't go anywhere. Might be unlucky. Obviously, the strategy doesn't work every time. You can't win every single trade. But at the same time, I feel like I just haven't been catching as many wins as I would like to. especially to get funded here. But again, it is FOMC today. So definitely don't want to trade too much, go too crazy, because we definitely could get unlucky and start chopping around here until FOMC at noon. One more dig, 388.5. Are you saying the price is... Oh no, one more doubt, like one more. I'm guessing that means you made another trade and got 388, which is sick. That's awesome. I thought for a sec you're saying that we're gonna dig down to 388 on like the price. I'm like, that's kind of far down here. I mean, hey, we still might. I guess it's only like 50 points away, 40 points. It's not too far. We could make a way down there. Yeah, that makes more sense. Alright, kind of holding up here. Actually,
Order filled.
I might try it this one more time. Kind of held this fair value gap down here a little bit. Not the best, but a little bit. We might just be selling still, which would be unfortunate. That's what it's looking like. But it didn't look like a bad reversal. So there's kind of two of the setups I look for. The bull flag, which obviously didn't work out. And then we got this reversal, a little bit bigger move here, but took out the lows, broke the highs, and then kind of retested these gaps a little bit. You can see we went into the gap and we closed out above it. It's not the best rejection and close, but it was decent, and then we're kind of pushing up higher, so that's what I decided to get in. We still could hold, find that support. I would be a little surprised if we just kind of sold all the way down and got stopped out, but also I've seen it happen before. Set a buy at 388 and ride to the top. Low-key, if we do get down there, definitely won't be surprised if we kind of get down there and then just kind of make our way back up. Definitely could happen. But yeah, we'll see if the sellers keep up the momentum here. Or if we find that support. Oh, Dylan is short. Oh, he's trying to fade me. Nah, it's probably... the short's probably better here. We got a lot of sellers coming in. It's a good short, I suppose. Guess we'll see if we hold this or not. But yeah, it might be a little fake reversal here. Might get stopped out. Again, not the best day with FOMC coming up and everything, but it doesn't mean it's over yet. Obviously, that's why we have our stop down here at the 400s, just because give it a little bit of room to breathe, right? A little pullback's fine. Still could find that support and push up. TP at 407. Okay. So you could still hit your target, and I might not get stopped out. So we could both win here. Yeah, definitely not looking good for me. Kind of surprised we didn't get like any sort of kind of bounce there. I mean, I guess we got like, what was that? 2 points or something like that. Yeah, a little unfortunate. But yeah, I can't win them all. Definitely a good bear stay here. Nice short, 420 to 407, 15 micros. Nice. That is a nice short. Okay, yeah, so you were looking for the inverse of that 2-minute gap. I see, I see. It's not bad. Not a bad trade. Yes, making new lows. Nasdaq could definitely follow it, make new lows as well. A little bit of support here at the lows though. Not stopped out yet. A little bit of buyers. Blown up a little bit here. I'm a little tired. Kinda holding those EMAs. Could be making a bear flag here. Not quite. Yeah, so didn't take out the low, it still could. Yeah, short again from the gap. I mean, yeah, it looks like got up to the 420 again and bounced off real nicely. Sounds like you know what you're doing. Yeah, holding that EMA 420 level very nicely. Looks like we closed below the 5-minute gap as well. Inversed it. I need help making 550 today. My rebills tomorrow. Well, shoot. I wish I could help you out there. Clearly, today's not my day. Might be losing $400 here, but there definitely could still be some good setups to help you make $550. That's kind of a rough situation to be in, having the rebill come up on the account. If you still need like a little bit more money to pass the account. I guess it depends on how much drawdown you have. Because if you're like really close to passing and you still have plenty of drawdown, I might obviously. It sucks to pay the rebill, but it might be fine because you're still pretty close to passing. But if you're in a bit of drawdown and you're not really, you still have a ways to go before passing, definitely might be able to throw on a trade. Obviously still wait for a good trade. Hopefully you can get one today. But yeah, hopefully you throw on a good trade with a little bit more size and hopefully you can get that today. $15 micros just a scalp. Okay. So yeah, you only need like, what's that? 20 points or something like that. A little bit less. 15 micros. My math is not the best. Ooh, Dylan trying the short again. I don't know, it's looking like he kind of wants to go up now. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. We do have a little bull flag that is working. We're kind of pushing through those EMAs, but we definitely could bounce out the 420 gap again. But yeah, kind of hoping we take out the highs, get past these EMAs, get back to break even on the trade. Let's see the reaction. Yeah, so far little reaction, but not much. Buyers stepping up on Delta, taking out the highs. ES took out the highs. I don't know, buyers could be making a move here. But that's just what I'm hoping for. Are you on Discord too? I don't have a Discord like yet, just since I don't have a lot of followers or subscribers yet. I'm still building out my following, right? Still working on building the stream. But I might make one at some points. Especially if there's enough people asking for one who want me to make one. Alright, took out the high on the 1 minute. Let's see if that's kind of a sweep or if we are gonna get a little more strength from the buyers here. We're not out of this trade yet, boys. And maybe girls, I don't know. Might inverse this bearish gap on the 5 minute as well. I have a 90% win rate too, not a single red day, only 2 losses. Nice. That's sick. That's a really good win rate. I hear answering questions but don't see them in the chat. Ah, yes. I'm also streaming on TikTok, that is why. I'm streaming on TikTok and YouTube. So some of the questions are over on TikTok and then obviously you're on YouTube. So that's where there's the difference. I might be able to get an overlay or setup that shows both chats kind of on my stream. I just haven't messed with that too much yet. Your wins were just clearly just not big enough to pass the combine. Yeah, sometimes that's the case. And from my own experience, cause I've been similar with like some pretty good like win day, like green days, keeping my red days to a minimum, and high win rate. Like I had like 80-90% win rate. But part of the reason why I had that much of a win rate is because I was kind of trailing my stop, right, taking break evens as soon as I could, which obviously is fine, and it does take away a lot of the risk, and it keeps the win rate high, obviously, because you're winking like the small wins more often. But then I did find, like, for me, it was harder to, obviously a little harder to hit my profit target if I was trailing or moving to break even. So I ended up not having as big of wins all the time when I would trail my stop. But then obviously if I lose the trade, I lose the trade, and that's just it. Because I usually don't close the trade early. Like this one, it's like, it might not be looking the best for me, but I'm probably not going to close it right now. I'm probably going to wait and let it saw me out all the way down here. So similarly, I didn't lose a ton of trades, but the ones I did lose, I was losing a little bit more than my wins. What are you in right now? Oh shit. Shit, I didn't even realize my thing was on the wrong chart. Let me fix that. I had it shown on my 5-minute chart. You can see that on my YouTube. I have both of them pulled up. But yeah, it wasn't the best trade. Got in, almost got stopped out. But we did kind of make it almost back to break even. But now it looks like kind of playing out this short again. Might get stopped out. Yeah, earlier I was explaining to someone the difference between like micros and minis, and I showed him some examples, but I might have been, he might not have seen them. That's funny. Short to 408 off the gap. Nice equal lows at 408 to mid chart. Okay, okay. No, yeah, shorts should definitely seem to be the move here. I was hoping for the reversal, but don't look like I'm going to be right on this one. Hasn't filled the whole 4 hour for Valley Gap yet. Still wants to go down a bit. Yeah, definitely still wants to go down. I know it might be kind of filling out this gap, like you were saying, all the way down to the 315s. Definitely could be looking to fill that gap. Still not stopped out yet. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. But yeah, not stopped out yet. Still probably might. Definitely not looking the best for me here. Yeah, the short's definitely looking nice. Sounds like Dylan's making some money. That's what we'd like to see. As long as someone's making money. If I can't make money, if you guys are making money, that's alright too. Yeah, I probably should have stuck to more bearish bias here. But we were looking like we wanted to reverse this. Nice strong close up in here. Some bullish for value gaps. Gap paid 2 bangers. Yes sir, some banger trades right there. Alright, this might be it for me. Kinda going for the lows here. But we might just kinda chop around here too. We're getting close to 10 o'clock. I didn't even realize it was that late. Normally I'm almost done trading by now anyways. Yeah, we definitely could sweep 4-3. Hey, that's my stop. No, that's definitely a possibility though. I think we still might make our way down, but the sellers are getting a bit weak. So I think we definitely could sweep, kind of stop me out, and then push up. But also, it's kind of just a choppy day, and with FOMC coming up, and it's almost 10 o'clock, almost that lunchtime hour, I definitely am kind of expecting the little bit of chop. So we might get lucky, we might not get stopped out if we chop up and kind of keep this range that we formed right here. But I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to get out of this trade unless I take a loss. I might have to just take a small loss up here somewhere. But we might get stopped out here, like you said. Might sweep and then push up. So we'll see. For now, might as well just kind of hold on to it. Oh. Well, that was pretty crappy. Don't know where that came from. But there's the sweep. Terrible slippage there. We had to stop at 400, but we just lost 515. So that really sucks. Yeah, you love to see that. You're long now. Okay, okay. It's definitely a good sweep. Good push back up. Good wick. Hopefully that works out for you. Might be done on this account, though, just since I did take a couple losses in a row. Down 555. Don't want to lose any more on this account today. I don't think. Maybe we'll get like a really nice clean trade, which will obviously be nice. I might take it. Looks like this long might play out for you too. Yeah, nasty sweep there. A little unfortunate. But it looks like we might make our way back up to the top of this range, and maybe the longest will play out from here. And we might get back in the longs here if we can close above the 420s. And get a little pullback, tracement, enter back in, potentially. Looks like ES held the lows there. Didn't hit them. So W5 micros. Nice. It looks like you're getting pretty close to 23, your target. See, I might need to take some lessons from you. $15. Okay, gotcha. That makes a little more sense. All right, up to the 420s. We'll see if we take out this 1 minute high. Might try the reversal again. We also have the 5 minute chart. Might close above that gap on the 5 minute. Still 4 minutes till the candle closes though. And we'll keep our eye on the 1 minute reversal as well. Looks like you'll hit your target. Nice work. Yeah, that's a good long off that sweep. You called that. Guess I should have put my stop a little bit lower. Didn't want to risk much more than I was risking, but yeah, it did look like it just needed to kind of sweep the lows there before we went higher. We'll see if we can kind of keep going higher or not, or if it's just a little sweep back into the range. Kind of a double top there. Pulling back kind of heavy. Holding these gaps a little bit though. Shorts might be the move still. Yeah, I agree. We keep kind of toying with the reversal. I mean, we did it twice now. And I mean, I got a little unlucky, but you can see on the 1 minute earlier we swept the lows and we took out the highs. I didn't take these trades just because it wasn't the best. Obviously, break of the highs kind of swept it, came back down. But again, kind of making the buyers think that we might be pushing up and reversing. But then we went and took out the lows, and then again, pushed the highs really nicely. But then bull flag didn't work out, and then we tried to catch, bounce off this fair value gap, which also just did not work out, and we just got stopped out. But luckily, I didn't take the trade over here, but it's twice now that the reversals have been kind of failing. So definitely could be the day for more shorting. But if I had to guess, especially since we there's more 1 hour fair value gaps below, it tapped into one. Ah, okay. That makes sense. And we are still trying to get through that 4 hour gap as well. Ugh. Yeah, the fact that we swept the lows there so strong, and then pushed back up to the top of this little range. I think my prediction is it's almost lunchtime. I think we're going to slow down. We're going to chop. And again, the fact that we broke lower and didn't hold, or clearly don't want to go shorter, but obviously we're not really going higher either. And I think, let's see, right here and right here, we kind of got this range here in this little box. I guess we don't really need that, but kind of from here to here, we might kind of just stick in this range and might get kind of tight, might kind of bounce around until FOMC. So it might be almost about that time. Call it a day. A little unlucky. We were up $180 on this account, but we did try to make another trade with the bull flag. Did not work. And then since then, haven't had the best price action. We did try and take the bounce off this gap for the reversal, but we just went straight down. Yeah, you got kind of faked out there, but could be worse. Took one trade on my other account as well. That 5-minute inverse gap. Got break even on that. So, I kind of just hoping for some better setups here, but I don't know if we're gonna get them. And I might be about ready to call it a day. You live every day? Yes. Live every morning for the New York Market Open. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. 7:30 a.m. my local time, or 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm live on YouTube and TikTok. So whatever method you prefer to watch on, check me out. I'll be here. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and chatting as well. Makes it a little bit more exciting when we got people in the chat. Nice, Roger subbed. I'll be tuning in. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, no, I glad you checked out the stream and enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for everyone who followed on TikTok as well. Appreciate it. I'll be live on TikTok again as well, but yeah, if you prefer YouTube, whatever your preference is, I'll be live on YouTube. That's might be a little bit better for some people, right? You can see my charts a little bit better, bigger screen. But I know some people, they like the vertical layout on the TikTok, so whatever your fancy, whatever you like. I got both. Yeah, probably gonna go eat some lunch here in a second. If you guys keep trading, be smart, be patient, good luck. Yeah, if you made some money, don't give it back. how long you been trading? About 2.5 years now. Started kind of towards the beginning of 2023. So it's been a journey. Some ups, some downs, some payouts, right? Passed a lot of accounts, blown some accounts, all the fun stuff. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out, and hopefully see some of you tomorrow. Peace out.